Hello, my name is Ted Park and I am the author of the book Chamsan or Sun Meditation. Sun Meditation means Korean Zen Buddhist meditation. Today I would like to talk about coping with feelings of failure. I think it's safe to say that basically every human being on planet Earth at one time or another has to deal with feelings of failure. This feeling that I screwed up, or even worse. These feelings can get pretty bad. We can even say to ourselves in our own hearts and minds, I'm such a loser. I'm a failure. In the Korean Buddhist monastic tradition, we don't use the word failure or loser. There's actually a special term when a Buddhist monk, or a Korean Buddhist monk wants to say I'm a loser or I'm a failure. And in Korean, this word is yanga tukje. That means attaining sin, receiving sin in both houses. Both houses refers to society and the monastic order. So to attain sin in both houses means that from the perspective of society, as a citizen of whatever country I'm living in, I attain sin, I become a loser because I haven't upheld my responsibilities as a citizen of that country. I haven't gotten married and had children. I haven't gotten a job and contribute to the productivity of the economy and to the running of the society in general. I haven't upheld any of my duties as a citizen because I've renounced everything. So, in a certain sense, from the perspective of society, I'm a loser. On the other hand, from the perspective of the monastery, I haven't gotten enlightened. Although I am living on donations at all times, everything in a monastery, the housing, the clothes, the food, the medical care, all of that is done through donations. And I have received those donations, but I haven't gotten enlightened as I promised myself to, as I promised all others to. So therefore, in the house of the Buddha, I'm also a failure and a loser. This term, attaining sin in both houses, was originally conceived to criticize lazy monks who didn't practice meditation diligently. 2 years ago, I decided to leave the monastery. And believe me, at that time, I felt like Yanga Dukje, a loser who had attained sin in both houses. As a monk, not only had I failed to attain enlightenment, I was now leaving my teacher, and in fact, I was leaving the entire monastic order altogether. On the other hand, as a normal person, I was already middle-aged, but I had no wife and children, no property, no house, no car, no job, nothing. Literally all I had were a few t-shirts, a few sweatpants, and a backpack. And that was it. At the time, my back was pretty severely injured, so I decided that I would go learn yoga. And so I left the monastery and immediately went to India and Bali and places like that and began to learn yoga from famous yoga instructors and tried to treat my back and try to, deal with this new status of being a loser in both houses, a failure in both houses. And this went on for about 2 years. And in the course of those 2 years, I learned yoga. I did heal my back. And then little by little, I learned how to combine yoga with sun meditation. But it was all a very alien experience for me. For one thing, when I wanted to meditate, I had no meditation hall anymore to meditate in. And for another thing, because I no longer wore the robes of a monastic, nobody acknowledged me as a truth seeker anymore. I was just some weird middle-aged guy who liked to sit still. Nonetheless, I bore the teachings of my teacher in mind, and I learned how to meditate out in the real world, out in a world that doesn't acknowledge my status as a religious seeker. So I learned to meditate in the airport, in the train station, in the bus station. I learned to meditate in taxis, on rickshaws, on scooters, standing in the rain, walking down the streets of cities that I was going to for the first time, dealing with people in a language that I didn't know, living in small, not always clean and nice places. And in the course of this process of practicing sun meditation in the real world, in real life, when I felt like a loser, what I found was that I was finally able to understand what my teacher, Songdam S님, had always been teaching me. That we do meditation when things are hardest, not when they're easiest. And so no one was more surprised than me to discover that in the very midst of my failure, I had somehow found a success that I could call my own, that I had finally learned how to use the teaching of sun meditation as it was meant to be used. Sun meditation is a form of meditation that is designed to meditate, for us to meditate when we feel like it's impossible to meditate. Exactly in those times when we think meditation is impossible, when it's too noisy, when the place that we're in is too crowded, when we're moving very quickly, when we're in a rush, when what we're dealing with, when the task at hand is too complicated. Exactly at those times when we think we cannot do meditation, those are the best times to do sun meditation. Because sun meditation is designed, as the Sun Buddhists like to say, to be practiced anywhere at any time. This is something, though, that we need to put into practice in real life. It's not enough to believe or agree with what I'm saying. You have to learn it as an actual, physical. As we can see, it's noisy right now, but we're going to meditate anyway. All right? So just stay with me. And I'm in the middle of Seoul, and Seoul is a busy city. And so we'll practice meditation right now. So take a breath, relax, exhale, imoko. At exactly moments like this, we can enter into sun meditation and not lose our rhythm, not lose our focus and concentration. And when we understand that, when we apply sun meditation to deal with the very difficult feelings that come with feeling like a failure, what we learn, first of all, what I learned during those 2 years I spent traveling, trying to fix my back and trying to fix my life, is in this world there is no such thing as a failure. There is no such thing as a loser. There is no such thing as attaining sin in both houses. Just because your life didn't go the way you planned it, that doesn't mean you're a failure. And just because you're unhappy, that doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. All of that means is simply you need to know a technique for dealing with all of this. And the technique is this: when you feel brokenhearted, when you feel like you can't go on anymore, when your heart and your mind are filled with very unpleasant thoughts and feelings, go to the body. Hold correct posture. Tuck in your chin, take the tip of your tongue, put it against the roof of your mouth, put your hands in proper meditation posture, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are, if you're sitting, just do that. Engage abdominal breathing, breathe in, pause, breathe out. Imoko. What is this? What is this that is asking, what is this? What is this that is saying, I'm such a loser, I'm such a failure? What is this that's feeling these emotions? Ask yourself that. Create the state of doubt, the state of asking, and watch those thoughts and emotions disappear until your mind becomes crystal clear, your heart becomes light and calm, your body becomes relaxed and balanced, and you will discover for yourself that there is a light within you that never goes out, and you are never a failure, you are never a loser. I hope this is helpful for you, and we'll conclude today, and I will see you next time. Good luck in whatever you do. Thank you for listening.